Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel here today. So today I will be doing a review for you guys, and this review is on the Monday Night Raw Homecoming from October 3rd, 2005 from the American Airlines Arena in Dallas, Texas. The tagline for the episode was "The Power is Back," and 4.4 million people viewed this episode of Monday Night Raw. I believe it was one of the highest rated Raw episodes of all time. I believe so, if I'm not mistaken. So the show starts with they're counting down to Raw. And if you guys remember, this was the first ever episode of Monday Night Raw back on the USA Network. This was after WWE was done with their deal with Spike TV that broadcasted Raw every Monday nights. And they didn't renew the contract of Spike because there was a new show coming on called The Ultimate Fighter. If any UFC fans out there watched, remember The Ultimate Fighter? Raw was kicked off of Spike TV for The Ultimate Fighter. So this was the first episode of Raw back on the USA Network. For the first time since 2000. Yeah, first time since 2000 after they moved to TNN. And then they would move to Spike in 2003, and then they would move back to the USA Network here in 2005. So the show starts with them counting down to Raw Homecoming, and a bunch of the superstars are giving their opinion on what Monday Night Raw means to them, like Shawn Michaels, John Cena, Shane McMahon, Vince McMahon, Triple H, Edge. They're all talking about what Monday Night Raw means to them. And after the countdown expires, WWE would air their new signature intro. If you guys remember the old Ruthless Aggression era intro, well, it would start and like the little globe would spin, and you see pictures of Raw, SmackDown, Velocity. You get what I'm trying to say, the Raw intro. So they quit doing that one, and they brought in the new one that they had since 2000, and that they've had from 2005 all the way to 2012. So you guys will get what I'm saying here. So Raw kicks off with an episode of Piper's Pit with a special guest, the hardcore legend Mick Foley. And Mick Foley comes down, and he's got a promo. And then Roddy Piper comes down, and he's talking to Mick Foley. And then two superstars from SmackDown make their way to the ring as Randy Orton and his father, Cowboy Bob Orton, come down to the ring, and they interrupt the Piper's Pit episode with Mick Foley and Piper. Randy Orton talks crap to Roddy Piper, and then Roddy Piper would attack Randy Orton. They get into a brawl, and then Mick Foley and Cowboy Bob Orton would have to separate the two, and then Cowboy Bob Orton would punch Mick Foley right in the face, and then Randy Orton would RKO Roddy Piper, and then Randy Orton would set up Mick Foley and then give Mick Foley a RKO as well, as Randy Orton and Cowboy Bob Orton make the way back up to the ramp, and then that's it of that. And the next thing on this episode of Raw was a 30-minute Iron Man match between the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, and the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. This was a good Iron Man match. This was a great Iron Man match. This was not the first time they had an Iron Man match on television. They had one with Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle back on SmackDown 2003. This would be the second Iron Man match on broadcast television. So Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle would both end up scoring 2 falls apiece for each other. And then at the end of the match, Shawn Michaels would hit a sweet chin music on Kurt Angle and would hurry up and try to cover Kurt Angle before the time expired. But Shawn Michaels could not make the cover before the time ran out. And the time ran out, and the match would be ruled a draw. And then Shawn Michaels gets on the mic, and he's talking to Kurt Angle, and he's saying, let's go to sudden death overtime. And Kurt Angle's about to get back in the ring, and they're gonna continue the match. But Kurt Angle would wave it off and just walk back to the back with Shawn Michaels kneeling in the ring, and Shawn Michaels wanting Kurt Angle to continue the match. But Kurt Angle walks off, and then that is the end of that match. So the next segment was a backstage segment. Mr. McMahon was talking to Eric Bischoff, and Eric Bischoff has a match later tonight, which we'll get to in a little bit. A notice qualification match with John Cena. And Mr. McMahon, Eric Bischoff would say that he's got people lined up to help him during this match with Cena. But Vince would tell Eric Bischoff that no one is allowed at ringside for Eric's match, and Eric is looking scared, as how I would put this. And then Mr. McMahon would make his way out to the ring, and he would cut a promo to the fans, and he would badmouth Stone Cold Steve Austin, playing moments from Raw that showed Vince McMahon getting the upper hand on Stone Cold during their feud in the Attitude Era. And then all of a sudden, the glass breaks, and Stone Cold Steve Austin makes his way out to the ring to confront Vince McMahon. I believe this was the first time Stone Cold appeared on WWE television since he had a little bit after WrestleMania. He had a segment with Muhammad Hassan and Daivari. So Stone Cold would come out, and he'd cut a promo on Vince McMahon. You know, the usual Stone Cold Vince McMahon promo. Stone Cold would taunt Vince McMahon, make him scared. And then Vince McMahon would go to leave the ring, but Stone Cold would pull him back in, tell him not to go anywhere. And Stone Cold says he has a little surprise for Vince McMahon, and then the surprise is him giving him the finger and giving Mr. McMahon the Stone Cold Stunner for old time's sake. Now Stone Cold is celebrating, drinking some beer, but then all of a sudden, Vince's son Shane McMahon makes his way out to the arena and is looking to confront Stone Cold for stunning his father. But as Shane gets in the ring, Stone Cold hits Shane McMahon with the stunner. And then Stone Cold will continue to drink the beer and celebrate. But Vince's daughter, Shane's sister, Stephanie McMahon, would make her way down to the ring. And she would get on the mic and run down Stone Cold, asking Stone Cold why he stunned her brother and her father. But Stone Cold would give Stephanie McMahon the stunner. And then Stone Cold would celebrate with the beers. And then out comes Vince's wife, Linda, to confront Stone Cold as she comes out to the old WrestleMania theme song. You know, the old WrestleMania theme song from like WrestleMania's 1 to 14. And she'd come out and she'd ask Stone Cold about why he stunned her family. And then Stone Cold, saying how, Vince is a piece of trash, Shane's a piece of trash, and Stephanie's a piece of trash. And then Linda would agree with Stone Cold. And Stone Cold and Linda would look like they're going to have a couple beers with each other. But then Stone Cold would give Linda McMahon one of the absolute worst stunners of all time. Stone Cold would go for the stunner, but Linda would fall to her knees before Stone Cold could fall and hit the stunner. So Linda botched the stunner. It was after Stone Cold gets up, you see Stone Cold laughing. He knows that Linda screwed up the stunner. And Stone Cold celebrates with the beers, and then that's into that segment. Then we have a backstage segment. Mr. McMahon's getting interviewed by Todd Grisham as Vince McMahon's leaving in his limo. And Vince McMahon saying that somebody's going to pay for this. And then Vince McMahon getting off in his limo, and he would go off for the rest of the show. The next match, it is a ladder match. It is a loser leaves Raw ladder match when Mr. Money in the Bank Edge with Lita would put his Money in the Bank briefcase on the line against Edge's former best friend, Matt Hardy. And if you guys know the story, the whole story and feud between Matt and Edge, you know what happened. Not going to get into any of that right now. Maybe we'll get into that in some future videos. So yeah, Edge and Matt Hardy have a pretty decent ladder match. This was good. A bunch of high spots in this match. One spot, Edge would jump off a ladder onto Matt Hardy in the crowd. Edge would jump off a ladder onto Matt Hardy through a table. Matt Hardy would be hanging from the briefcase, and Edge would be grabbing his feet, knocking him off, stunning him on the ropes. So this match ends with Matt Hardy tied up in the ropes as Edge is climbing up the ladder. But Lita comes in and she crucifixes herself over Matt's arm so Matt can't get out. Then Edge climbs up the ladder, grabs the briefcase, and Edge is still Mr. Money in the Bank, with Matt Hardy now having to leave Monday Night Raw. As you know, Matt Hardy would go to SmackDown. He'd be on SmackDown until 2009. He'd go to SmackDown, then he'd be drafted to ECW. And then Matt Hardy would be drafted back to SmackDown, and then he would go back to Raw in 2009 during the draft. So yeah, and then showed offer security guards escorting Matt Hardy out of the building since he now has to leave Raw. So that's the end of that. Then we get a tag team match with the returning Triple H. This would be the first time we have seen Triple H since Vengeance 2005 when he lost the Hell in a Cell match to Mr. Dave Batista. Not a big Batista fan. I had no problem with Batista. I just don't like Batista. I just don't like it how he came back in 2014 and won the Rumble, even though it should have been Daniel Bryan. Because Daniel Bryan was more hot at the time as Batista, and Batista just didn't need the win. So enough of that. As he teams up with his best friend, his mentor, his manager, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, as they take on Carlito and Chris Masters. And Ric Flair and Triple H would get the win in this tag team match, beating Carlito and Chris Masters. So at the end of the match, Triple H and Ric Flair are celebrating in the ring, but Ric Flair turns away from Triple H as Triple H is holding a sledgehammer in his hand. And Triple H would, as Ric Flair would turn around, Triple H would nail Ric Flair right in the head with the sledgehammer, busting Ric Flair wide open. And then Triple H will continue to beat down on Ric Flair. He'd beat down on Ric Flair as they're going into the back. And Triple H is just beating up a bloodied Ric Flair. And a limo is sitting in the parking lot. And Triple H just throws Ric Flair right in the limo, closes the door, takes the sledgehammer, and smashes the window out. As if you go back and watch, you can see the sledgehammer. The sledgehammer breaks the window and just bounces right off the window. it was pretty cool to see. And then Triple H just saying, "Get this piece of crap out of my building," and then he shuts the door. No, he just he says, "Get this piece of crap out of my building," and he shuts the door, throws a sledgehammer to the window. And then the limo would speed off with Triple H walking away after beating down his former best friend Ric Flair. So that is the end of that segment. As I turn my page here. The next segment will be some legends standing in the ring. Legends. Dusty Rhodes would make his return to Monday Night Raw. No, Dusty Rhodes. I think Dusty Rhodes made it. This would be Dusty Rhodes' first ever appearance on Monday Night Raw, I believe. So, legends are in the ring. Dusty Rhodes, Jimmy Snuka, Kerry Von Erich, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Hillbilly Jim. Mean Gene, all the legends. And then out comes Mr. Rob Conway. If you guys don't know Rob Conway, he was part of La Resistance, and he was an OVW. Rob Conway comes down and he talks trash on the legends. And then the legends would continue to beat down on Rob Conway. Jimmy Snuka would hit the Superfly Splash. Kerry Von Erich would lock in the infamous Claw. And then the legends would throw Rob Conway out of the ring, and the legends would celebrate in the ring. And then that's the end of that. The next match, it is a 3-on-2 broad panties match. When the team of the women's champion Trish Stratus and Ashley would take on the team of Tori Wilson, Victoria, and Candice Michelle. So this match was just usual bra and panties match, Trish and Ashley would beat all three women, and then that'd be the end. So that's enough of that. And then the next match, it is a match from SmackDown. It is a 6-way tag team match when the team of John Bradshaw, Layfield, Christian, and Eddie Guerrero would take on the team of the United States Champion Chris Benoit, Rey Mysterio, and the World Heavyweight Champion Batista. Now this match would actually not happen, as the bell would ring, but Eric Bischoff would make his way out, saying that his Raw audience shouldn't have to sit and suffer through a second-rate show's match. As Eric Bischoff would tell the production crew to shut the lights off, and then the lights would shut off with all the SmackDown's superstars standing in the ring, wondering why Eric Bischoff just did that, as they go to commercial break. And they come back on Raw with the lights are still down, by the way, as Mean Gene Okerlund is standing in the ring. And Mean Gene Okerlund introduces the immortal Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan comes down, gives his usual Hulk Hogan Mean Gene Okerlund interview. And then that's the end of that. Now it is time for the main event of this episode, when the WWE Champion John Cena defends the WWE Championship match in a no disqualification match against Raw General Manager Eric Bischoff. Now, this match was terrible. I don't know why it was the main event. In my opinion, maybe Edge and Matt Hardy could have been the main event. Hell, Triple H and Ric Flair versus Carlito and Chris Masters could have been the main event, with Raw ending with Triple H beating down on Ric Flair, sending him packing, and then the show would go off the air. That's how I would have done it, because it would have given him a more better ending. But the ending of this match was good too. John Cena would defeat Eric Bischoff. Kurt Angle would come down to the ring, and he would get ready to brawl with John Cena. But SmackDown General Manager Teddy Long would come back out, saying telling Eric Bischoff that he shouldn't have done what he did earlier in the night with SmackDown. And Teddy says that Eric Bischoff made SmackDown superstars and him look like fools. But Teddy Long says now it's time for Teddy Long and SmackDown to make Eric Bischoff and Raw look like fools, as Teddy Long would send down the SmackDown superstars to come down to brawl with John Cena and Kurt Angle. And Monday Night Raw would even the odds with a lot of the Raw superstars coming out and brawling with SmackDown. So you would get a SmackDown versus Raw brawl at the end. And then the show would go off the air that night with Raw and SmackDown brawling in the ring, setting up a Survivor Series, as would be a few weeks later. So yeah, that was the end of Raw Homecoming from October 3rd, 2005. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Evans Wrestling on the Randomist. Stay tuned for more great videos coming your guys' way. Hit that subscribe button. Another review coming your guys' way. I'll be doing a review on Raw 1000. That episode of Raw. So yeah, don't forget to check out for more great videos coming your guys' way. And don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, do all that good stuff, because you do not want to miss what I have planned for this summer. Also, Money in the Bank predictions coming soon. Pay-per-view reviews coming back. If you guys like this video so much, maybe I'll take a look back at some old Raw episodes and review those as well. If you guys like that, put it in the comments below. Put in the comments below what you guys like to see. And see you guys next time.